Greetings and welcome to Make Programming Fun Again. My name is Karol Moros, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to implement the repository pattern in an ASP.NET Core application. In the previous video, which I uploaded yesterday, I showed you how to create a new ASP.NET Core application with gRPC and how to connect it to a PostgreSQL database. And we have also created a model and some database migrations. And you can find the source code for that project on my GitHub at moros/fullstackasp.net-courses. And in this project, you may see the protocol buffers, the gRPC APIs we defined yesterday, and this is kind of a very simple and bare bones API, which I basically just wrote because I'm myself learning gRPC. I'm really just learning by doing. And we created a database context, which is ASP.NET, it's Entity Framework Core's way of defining a database connection and models. And today, when I was setting up this project on a different machine, I realized that this class would not compile. And the reason for that was that in this place in the code, we previously only defined this class as event. And in this case, this event, it resolves to a protocol buffer class, which was auto-generated by the protobuffer code generators. And in order to solve this issue, I basically used I used the prefix. I used the name. I added the namespace prefix before the class name, and this solved the issue, and the application can now compile. And so in this video, I would like to wire this courses service to the actual database, because right now, if we start the application and if we wanted to let's say we wanted to test the actual gRPC API, we can test it using this built-in client. So if we test it, if we submit a request using this API, we are going to get these hard-coded values that we defined in this service. And this is not ideal because we actually this was just for the purposes of for demonstration purposes, but ideally we would like to return actual data from the database. And in order to do so, we need some way to connect this courses service to the database context. And we could do it by just injecting the database context into the service, but a better way is to use the repository pattern. And in this case, a repository pattern is going to be a repository is going to be a class which is going to sit between the model and the controllers. And you can basically use something similar in most applications using MVC or similar frameworks, MVC or similar patterns, because in MVC applications you usually have a model and a controller, and sometimes it's not entirely obvious whether a specific functionality belongs to the model or the controller. So you may end up with either a very big model or a very big controller. And sometimes a newer and more modern approach is basically to do something in between. And I'm going to add a new file in here. I'm going to call this event repository. And yes, I'm going to add this to Git. And we're going to start by defining an actual interface. And this is actually required for us to be able to use database injection for this class. I'm going to disable completions in GitHub Copilot. I used to record without any LLMs at all, but it's kind of not really feasible these days. So I sometimes use Copilot chat for to ask questions. And this event repository is going to actually I forgot the signature, so we may have to figure it out. Can we define an async function? Async task and it's going to return an enumerable of events. And it's going to be called list events, like so. I think we don't need to do it like this, okay. And then I can define that this implements this iEvent repository, and now it complains. We have not implemented this repository iEvent repository interface yet, and we're going to inject a DB context like this. Great. And now we can define this list events method. Public task enumerable models event list events, like so. Okay, so this does implement this class, and what we actually want to do is we're going to fetch those events, and I'm going to call as no tracking for now, order by descending. I think it accepts a closure. I'm going to order by the events that start latest, and then now how can I get all of these? Was it as list or? To list async. Okay, and I think I also need to await it. Public async, like so. Okay, so it seems that this implementation does satisfy the contract, and now we can try to add it in the application. So now let's see, builder services, add was it singleton? No, add scoped maybe. Okay, well, let's see. Event repository. like so. Okay, maybe this will work, maybe it won't work. Let's see if we try to implement it in the courses service. And you know what, I don't want this courses service to interfere with our namespaces, so I'm going to call, I'm going to use a separate namespace for this. I'm just going to call this gRPC, courses gRPC. And let's see if it compiles. Okay, so we type our namespace name, courses API could not be found. So this is in courses service, and we can now say using courses gRPC, like so. And now do all those things compile now? Okay, so now these things compile. So what we did is we wrote an interface called iEvent repository, and we need to define an interface in order to be able to use what was it called? Dependency injection. I think this was the way it was used. And since we added this iEvent repository, we added this concrete event repository class at iEvent repository, we can then just use this event repository in the courses service. So now if in here I can specify event repository, event repository, like so. And now in here I can say var public override async tasks list. Okay, var events equals await event repository list events, and then we can so this, okay, so what is this events type? It's a list events response, and it's a repeated field event. So now yeah, this works. So now we could do something like for each var event in events, like so. Is it of events? For each is it like this? No. What was the syntax of var event? Was it in events? What variable designation expected? How does for each actually work in C#? For each C#. The for each. Okay. So models event like this. Okay, I think I cannot use the event variable name because it's a registered keyword. So var e in events, like so, and then I can say, so this is var list, and then for each one I can just add list, add new event, and then the title is going to be equal to this events title, and then this title in Polish is going to equal to this events title in Polish, and then this ID is going to equal to new UID with the value equal to ID to string, like so. So now, will this work? No. Cannot convert expression. So can we like do it like so? Okay, so now we can just return this type, and it's going to be converted to tasks because it's going to be converted to task because this function is now async. So now the project compiles, and can we make a request? Where is our client? I'm going to delete this. We run it, and we got an empty list, which I think is fine. Let's connect to the database. Wait, why doesn't this work? Postgres, test connection. Okay, we connected. Let's see. Introspection level, courses. Okay, so we have this events table. It's empty at the moment, so we can we could create some events in the database directly. So in order to do that, I'm going to open a query console, insert into events. Okay, I'm not going to insert all of this information, I guess. I'm going to insert created at and updated at. Do these columns actually have default values? No, they don't. Oh shit. Okay, so I need to actually insert all of these columns. So it's going to be. Okay. Do I have something to generate a UID? No. I'm just going to use gen random UID. This is going to be UID v4, but it's going to be good for now. It starts at. It's going to be. Yeah, I'm just going to insert some date in the future. Let's say it's going to be December the 1st, 090000 UTC, and then ends at is going to be 2025 1201 1100, and then the title is going to be test English title, and then the Polish title is going to be test Polish title. It's virtual, the venue is null, test English description, test Polish description, now at time zone UTC, now at time zone UTC. Let's see. We did run it. So now, what does the API return? Okay, so now the API does indeed return this event, which means that we are fetching the data from the database. So that was actually very easy. We wrote this very simple event repository class, and by specifying it in program CS as a scoped dependency, a scoped service with the type iEvent repository, we got this we got access to this class inside of the courses service. We just need to specify it in the constructor. And now that we have this out of the way, we could probably add more fields. So what fields do we have on this events class? We have starts at and ends at, and I'm not exactly sure what those types would be, right? So let's see, gRPC data types. Let's see the default data types. Wait. In appearance, I'm going to set the page zoom to 75%, which is going to equal to 150% of the original. So is there like a date time? Date time scalar gRPC. Okay, so okay, there is a type called Google protobuf timestamp. So if I import this type, I should be able to use this timestamp. So Google protobuf timestamp created at equals. No, I'm going to start with starts at equals 4, and then the same for ends at, and then for created at, and then for updated at. So now if I build, let's see, I'm going to build the project, and now in this courses service I should be able to return these, right? So it's going to be e starts at. So what is this exactly? Is this timestamp type? Can I new it? What fields does it have? Well, okay, so how does this work actually? Let's see. What does this actually say? So timestamp from from datetime offset. So let's see, timestamp from datetime, E starts at, and then ends at is going to be from ends at, and then created at is going to be from created at, and then updated at is going to be from updated at. And now if I run the project, can we query it? So let's see. An error details are logged. What did we actually add? We added these. What did we get in here? Nothing. So why did these? Do I need to maybe let's see if I try to run it. Do I maybe need to refresh it somehow or what? Okay, so none of these worked. I'm going to search it with Copilot chat. And let's see. Oh, you know what? I think this may be because no. Don't edit files in. Do not edit files in the project. Shit. What? No, I do not want you to change this grid proto. Rollback. Yes, roll back this file. I'm going to have to tell Copilot never to edit files without me specifically asking for it. Was it something like courses gRPC? So wait, what again? We are in this C# namespace, and this is package courses like this. Courses API list events, right? So why? I want to see this in a window. What files do I get in CS project? So I have this, I do have this protos, courses proto and grid proto, right? And yeah, okay. Yeah, but these files do exist. So what was the reason? Let's see. Is it about this timestamp proto thing? Will it work better if I use Crayon? Yeah, I'm going to search for this error. Let's see. Is there something about assembly? What does this say? Okay, do I have to implement? Okay, let's see. In languages and frameworks, protocol buffers. Where do I find? Okay. Wait, so how do I tell it about well-known? Okay, so it seems like this Japanese walkthrough was actually correct. I need to repository. Okay, so I need to download these files. I think I can just download a zip file. Who knows how? Okay, it was this big. And then I go to downloads and I unzip protobuf, and then I need to add a link to this protobuf source here in downloads, protobuf main and source, like so. Let's see, now will this work? Okay, so the reason was that we did not have we did not add those. So JetBrains just wasn't able to find a reference to those Google message types. As more specifically, it did not have types defined for the timestamp type. What else do we need to show? What other types are we going to need to implement in this specific object? Okay, these are mostly just strings. We have title, we have description. Let's see, string description en equals 8, string description pl equals 9. So this is going to be optional, and this is going to be optional, and then there may be a venue option. Bool is virtual equals 10, optional string venue equals 11. Let's see, shift 10. Okay, it did build. So now in this courses service we can add additional fields. So that would be is virtual equals e is virtual, and then description is going to equal English description, and then Polish description is going to equal to Polish description, and then venue is going to equal the venue. Rebuild, and now exception was thrown by handler. So what did we get in the logs? Value cannot be null. And what? So what? Which of these does it refer to? Is it the venue? Okay, this happens with the venue. So we need to specify about the venue itself is no, we did specify, but it is nullable, right? This is nullable. So why will this work if we just do not specify the value or what? Oh well. Okay, so how do we handle nullable fields? Okay, fields are nullable by default. So nullable value. So okay, so string value, it's okay. Well, let's see. if we define this as a Google protobuf string value, and which of those is it? Where are these defined? Is it like string value? Wait. Firstly, I'm going to ask it. No access to project. No. I'm just going to ask, okay, how to handle nullable fields in gRPC in ASP.NET. Okay, it's called wrappers proto. Okay, so no. Wrappers proto, and then right, and now it's also going to be Google protobuf string value, and then it's also going to be a string value like this. So does this build? Let's see. Okay, so now wait, I'm going to also specify a venue and rebuild. Okay, so now we know that this this specific event does not specify a venue, so it's going to be null in the resulting object. Okay, this is good. So now we have an API. It does return an actual list of events, and I think there may be some sort of a better practice, because right now we are just the way we are returning data from this service is we basically redo everything. Maybe there will be a way for the actual event from the actual models returned from the database to be serialized directly as protocol buffers. And I'm going to research this possibility, and I'm going to tell you about it in one of my future videos. And in the meantime, I'm going to call it a video. If you have enjoyed watching this video, please consider liking and subscribing. And if you did not enjoy watching this video, please tell me why. I know this is kind of a low effort video, but I have a daily job and this is just a hobby. And if you actually really enjoyed this video, you may consider signing up for my Discord waiting list. It's here so that people can sign up, and if we get once we get 100 people signing up for this waiting list, I'm going to send everybody a Discord invitation. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.